This continent was meant for no one. None of us will have any peace until there are no monsters left in the world.
That's my home. My fight.
It's well known that you're kind of a big fan of the Witcher franchise.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, was there an aspect of the wider Witcher world that you were really excited to see brought to life in season 2?
Well, I mean, as you'll probably hear that I've said quite often, for me it was bringing Geralt's intellect and wisdom and his soulfulness to the front, his philosophical lean. In season 1 it's not really explored, but it's very, very present in the books. And so for me it was really important that I did that as much as possible, as much as the vision would allow.
And then also I've just got to ask one more thing,
Yeah.
which was the kind of Geralt love triangle is a big thing that fans care deeply about. I wonder whether you would weigh in on whether it's Triss or Yennefer as a...
For me, when I played the games, and especially when I read the books, it's always been, I feel, true to Geralt's core that it's Team Yennefer. Of course, the great thing about the games is that you can do whatever you want, and that's the great thing about games. But for me, it was, even in the games, Team Yennefer.
So when we spoke to Lauren earlier, she said that season 2 was so much about family and kind of like finding people, and I think obviously that's going to be a big part of what we see Ciri do in season 2. So yeah, I was wondering how has that been to play, and what's it like kind of playing this new era of Ciri's life?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, I feel like season 1 didn't really do Ciri justice in terms of like what fans are waiting for, and I feel like season 2 is far more of that. You get to see her really like come into herself, and trying to come into herself anyway, and train, and yeah, it was amazing. I was so excited to take all that physical element on it as well.
Well, yeah, speaking of that physical element, obviously, like you said, season 1 sees Ciri kind of, we follow her, she kind of escapes and is running around so much, but it's a lot of kind of motion all the time. Was it very different coming into the season, doing lots of training, lots of kind of sword fighting?
Yeah. It was like I'm like Ciri. I'm obsessed with it, and I want to be better at it, and I want to like do more all the time. So it was like so much fun, and I've waited like a whole season to be able to do this. So yeah, me and Ciri have that similarity. I love it.
How you doing? It's so cold. I'll make it quick.
Yeah, I know. Well done for standing out here.
So season 2, bigger, better, crazier. Can you tell us a little bit about how Yennefer's journey in season 2 compares to kind of where we saw her in the first season?
Compares. She's the same Yennefer. She doesn't take no for an answer. Where there's a will, there's a way. That will never change. But there are a lot of things this season, a lot of people this season, which really change your perspective on things. So you get to you get deeper into Yennefer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lauren mentioned that this season especially so much about family. Was that something that you felt coming in that Yennefer's kind of getting to explore, or was she still kind of solo?
Always. No, I mean, even when she's solo, that's on her mind, is that deep connection that she's kind of yearning for.
Yeah. And then finally, Joey mentioned to us that a joy for him in season 2 was that you guys got to have more scenes together. Was that fun? Did you enjoy kind of working?
I love Joey. He's like, I've loved him since day 1. He is Jaskier. He brings joy to The Witcher, which is so needed. Yeah. So I've loved it.
How would you compare kind of the second season, coming into season 2 of Witcher? Like broadly, how would you compare it to the first?
Going in was filming it was more hectic and more chaotic. The actual season is more streamlined. It's got some bitterness to it. It's got some grittiness to it. It's darker. It's stranger, and we've got more time to explore these characters. So if season 1 was a bit wham bam thank you ma'am, a bit entertaining and a bit sort of showstoppy, season 2 feels like we're starting to move in the right direction.
Cool. Speaking of the characters, can you give us like a bit of a sense of where we find Jaskier now versus kind of where we left him at the end of season 1?
We find Jaskier, he's an independent man. He's kind of moving forward on his own 2 feet. He's no longer defined by his friendship with Geralt. He's enjoying life, but also making some big moral decisions that may put himself in danger, real danger, for the first time in his life. And he's willing to risk it all to actually do something good.
And do you have a favourite kind of scene or episode that you're really excited for fans to come across?
I can't wait for you guys to meet the witches. I think Paul and Yaz and Kim and all the new witches are just astonishing, and I love watching them work and the family that they're creating together. Yeah, I think the fans are gonna really like it.
And Kaer Morhen is such a big part of what kind of draws people in.
Absolutely, yeah, and the actual set as well, designed by Andrew Laws, is just astonishing. Wandering around it, you do feel like you're wandering around the secret halls of Kaer Morhen, and it's pretty scary. It's pretty like epic, and you feel like you are in a position of power, a place of power. So.
I've got to ask you. So Jaskier is basically the closest thing Geralt has to a best friend. The big thing with Geralt, or some people's big thing with Geralt,
Closest thing. He is his best friend.
is love triangles. So I want to know who you think Geralt should end up with. We're looking at Triss, we're looking at Yennefer.
Oh, Yennefer.
Yennefer all the way.
I'm Team Yennefer all the way.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was wondering whether, speaking of other actors and speaking of Yennefer, were there any kind of people you got to work with in season 2 that you kind of didn't have the opportunity to in the first season that really stood out to you? Really?
Yeah, Anya and I have quite a few more scenes together, which was really fun because Jaskier and Yennefer are frenemies, and we got to explore their friendship together and their growing relationship together, and we see two characters at their weakest, at their lowest, coming together to help each other, and that was really exciting to explore.
And finally, can we expect another kind of like Jaskier hit single in the form of Tosh or Coin? Is there a Tosh or Coin part 2?
Definitely not. No. There are more songs coming, and they are but they are a departure from season 1. We wanted to explore a new sort of musical direction, one that pushed Jaskier, one that was representative of Jaskier's emotional core. And I'm excited for fans to see it. It's not going to be anyone's ringtone anytime soon, I can tell you that.
Amazing. I wanted to know, what I wanted to know firstly...
What do you want to know?
For people who don't know anything about Vesemir, and their only experience is with Geralt, how would you compare the two?
No, it's nothing to compare with Geralt. He is Geralt, and he never does what you say, even if as a father to Geralt. Kids never do what you say, man. He's so fucking mean in the ass, He's a badass, I love him. I'm the creator of Geralt. I saw him outside of Kaer Morhen, our home, and his mother brought her to me and said, this could be a possibility to be a good Witcher. And she wasn't wrong. Geralt is our hope in life. Geralt is, even if I am the oldest Witcher, Geralt is our hope. And I want to support him in that all the time, so that's Vesemir.
Yeah. And then also, I want to say from your point of view, was it intimidating starting this project? It's fantasy, it's all these names, it's elves, was that kind of a lot to take in, a lot to learn just before you started?
I think we all trained now in big worlds and names, and fantasy is not a big thing anymore, it's just the biggest. And we know that, and they are allowed to show our world now. I'm so happy for they're doing it. We have been fighting for this all life, that we believe that is something between Earth and nothing. It is eternity, So this is great for us that we can tell these stories, I appreciate it. Nature is strong, nature is us. We have to understand that, and that's what Henry is fighting for when he brought this project to Netflix. And I'm supporting him 100% that we are nature.